Can you get out easily like that? No. Somebody has to beat you up, then out you come. So we have to watch these other influences. They affect us. Mood, emotion, what you read, your amusement, and even what you eat. Watch that. First, mood. Environment of mood, you know, you've seen people in them. They make themselves miserable and all others miserable. And those who have emotion and live in a land of emotion, watch their mind. It's very restless. And so you, if you keep company with them, will become like them. There's no question about it. And also what you read. If you read detective stories all the time, and such things, you become like that. If you read Shakespeare and the Bible and Master's works, you become like that. And so we should realize those things. And our recreation. If you attend dance halls all the time, you will not come out well. If you get the front row in a prize fight, go there all the time, I won't guarantee what you'll be. You cannot help it, because that's the law. I know many of you don't do that, all of you don't do that, but it's just a suggestion and an illustration. Some people do that. And then finally, you must watch what you eat. Very important. Master used to say it in such a funny way. I wish I could say it like he used to say it, but he said, you know, if you eat beef, you become bully. And he says if you eat chicken, he says, watch out, you become chicken-hearted. That's not exactly what becomes of you. And he says if you eat pork, he says you look like a pork, he calls it. You look like that somewhat. And those foods are not those foods that are tamasic foods. They're not good. The vibration is not good. Like horseradish will give you a very bad vibration. These tamasic foods should be avoided because they have a very depressing effect upon the buoyancy of your soul. And finally, he used to say, if you eat nuts all the time, you look like he used to say, you look nutty, or like a squirrel. So everything has its effect upon you. And if you eat foods that are vital foods, natural foods, and which you can digest and agree with you, that's the right food for you. So that comes under the company that you keep. And it should be watched. And so finally, in closing, after weighing all the points brought out, I'm sure we all agree and realize that there's one environment we need, and that's the supreme environment within us, that supreme inner environment of God's love. His all-pervading consciousness, His all-protecting love is the greatest environment we can have. The Master told me, and I've never forgotten it. He told me in the fall of 1920. He said, and 6 months later I found out he knew what he was talking about. He said, remember, Doctor, when you are in the Om vibration, nothing can touch you. No force in the universe can touch you. That is, when you look here and keep your consciousness there, nothing can harm you. That's what we have. We have the greatest force in the universe, the one with us, protecting us and guarding us if we can learn to lift our consciousness to the Christ center, the great Om vibration, the presence of God. And so that's our greatest environment, the presence of God within us. That's what we must attain, what we must see. And so, practice the presence of God as His omniscient consciousness within you. In that omniscience is every saint that ever was or will be. Realize it. In that omniscience of God within you is your Savior, be it whatever channel God sends to you. Do you realize that? These are wonderful truths. We must not forget them. That in us spiritual environment, the presence of God. And in that is everything we can ever hope to be, because God alone is. He is. Do not think you do anything. Do not expect any others to do anything for you. Expect God to take care of you. If He uses others, He's the doer. That's His business. But you don't depend on outward things. You dilute your loyalty to God by depending upon others. Understand that. Now don't misinterpret that. God flows through everybody. But if you do not feel that consciousness that He is in everyone, then you are depending on that person.
In order to profit from these practical teachings in a meaningful way, which will have a definite and tangible impact in your life, we suggest that you subscribe to the Self-Realization Fellowship's home study course on the science of yoga. Please visit the SRF on the web at yogananda-srf.org or call the SRF's Mother Center in Los Angeles, California at 323-225-2471.